If you have never heard the words insulin resistance before, or perhaps you've heard of them but do not fully understand what they are, just give me 10 seconds, let me highlight the problem here, then you can make an informed decision whether to watch the rest of this video or scroll on. Insulin resistance is the problem, and when you are beginning to develop this, it will manifest in a number of different ways. Constant hunger is one of the first things you'll experience. Now, this is not 3 square meals a day. This is an unsatiating appetite, snacking and grazing every couple of hours. And when you choose to address this thing right here, as a result of being insulin resistant, you will experience this inability to lose any of it whatsoever. You may experience cravings for sugary and salty foods, migraines with aches and pains, fatigue, especially if you're tired and bloated after a big meal. That's not normal. It's all rooted in this right here, as is this. Upper abdominal obesity. Now, this is a big telltale sign, but what do I mean with this when it comes to insulin resistance? Very simply, if you look at this cross-section of this gentleman, you can see this outer layer of adipose tissue. This right here is known as subcutaneous fat. If you can pinch this and it jiggles, there's no danger in that. However, I acknowledge if you've got excess of that, most of us would want rid of it, right? But insulin resistance and upper abdominal obesity, I am referencing this right here. So if you can press beneath this loose, jiggly, subcutaneous fat and you have this hard protruding belly, that is extremely dangerous. That is the hormone insulin taking the excess energy you and I consume and storing it as a reserve source of energy in areas it should not be storing it, in the form of fat around the organs. This is known as visceral fat. Furthermore, if you are developing skin tags in the creases or folds of your neck, your armpit or on the face, or darkening of skin pigmentation in those same areas, neck, armpit or around the eyes, even if you've got adult acne, or a woman with facial hair, even inflammatory skin diseases are rooted in insulin resistance. If you are living your day like this, as I was nearly 2 years ago, then this is the cause of insulin resistance, because this represents my bloodstream right here. And this was my food intake during the day. So I would start with breakfast, whatever that is, bowl of cereal, piece of toast, piece of fruit. The body's taking that food, converting it into glucose and pushing that glucose into my bloodstream. That's represented by this blue line right here. The body responds the second that glucose hits the bloodstream. The pancreas secretes this hormone called insulin, represented by this purple line. And if that hormone insulin is doing its job properly, it will deliver this glucose as energy and nutrients to the cells. And if there is any surplus, it will store it as a reserve source of energy in the form of fat on our bodies, bringing this glucose down in about 90 minutes. However, insulin is a hormone, and even in a metabolically healthy person, this hormone insulin can take how long? 3 to 4 hours to come back down. If you're metabolically unhealthy, it can take several hours. And this pattern right here of low blood glucose and elevated insulin, since your body cannot access